We are jumping in here on what's going on with this Ole Miss Miami game that's scheduled for January 8th in the semifinals of the CFP. Some big news is coming out of Ole Miss, and it's a lot of questions now coming from it, and we don't know the answers, but we're here to talk about it. Let's get right to it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez. Show might hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave y'all comments. Appreciate y'all support. We will be back here Monday night for Hurricanes Unfiltered Live. We will be here for the game on January 8th, sitting right there, bringing to you live and direct our coverage of this game. Appreciate y'all as always, and we are only a game away from getting back to the national championship game for the first time in 23 years, and a chance to host it at the Hard Rock. Man, that's some big stuff, people. Well, let's discuss. And before we do, let me give a shout out to the sponsor of our show, Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in the areas of criminal defense and family law. Give her a call today, 954-888-8833. That's 954-888-8833. You can reach her on Instagram at nat.guilty. That's nat.guilty. She will fight for you. Appreciate you, Natalie, and your continued support of this channel and show. Let's jump in. Ole Miss. Let's be real. No one thought Ole Miss would get here. Heck, we can also say the same about the University of Miami. Outside of the fans of the University of Miami and a few others like Aaron Murray and a few other guys, hell, Cam Newton picked Miami, by the way. Most people picked Miami to lose. Most people did not expect the University of Miami to be here. They expected us to lose to A&M. They expected us to lose to Ohio State. And here we are in the CFP semis. But let's talk about this situation here, because from a perspective of Ole Miss, it's a little bit different, as Ole Miss has an entire offensive staff, for the most part, that is supposed to be moving on with Lane Kiffin to LSU, including offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr., tight ends coach and co-offensive coordinator Joe Cox, wide receivers coach, passing game coordinator George McDonald, and running backs coach Kevin Smith have all signed contracts to coach with Lane Kiffin at LSU. Big stuff, right? Big stuff. Well, there is a problem now. The problem is what do you think you got going on? You've got a situation with the portal, which is going on right now, transfer portal. And you have, by the way, Kevin Smith was a running backs coach at University of Miami in 2022, just so you know. But you have the portal going on and recruiting going on, and LSU trying to bring in a recruitment class with the portal. And those coaches have got to do their jobs at LSU as well. So according to ESPN, it says, with the transfer portal opening Friday, sources told ESPN that the Rebels aren't certain they will have all of those assistants with them when they play the Hurricanes in 6 days. People, that's big. Like, that is real news. A source said some of the assistants have apparently pushed back on leaving an Ole Miss team that is 2 victories away from winning a national championship. There are going to be some fireworks, an Ole Miss source told ESPN. We always knew this might be a possibility. Now, sources also told ESPN that after the Rebels win, that Weiss was expected to coach in the Fiesta Bowl. But sources also said that a plan was in place for other LSU assistants to return to Baton Rouge to help the Tigers prepare to host prospects in the transfer portal this weekend. What does that mean? You know what that means? That means that they're not coaching their players for the biggest game of their lives. That they're not being prepared properly for the biggest game of their lives. That you're limited in who your coaches are because they're all leaving. And so Who takes over the offense? Who does it? So Charlie Weiss Jr. might be coaching at the Fiesta Bowl, and or he might be working on the transfer portal, and or he might be trying to do both. But when you're trying to do both at this level, it's not very easy. It's just not. So while you're in Baton Rouge, well, who's coaching, who's going over film, who's doing whatever with the team in Oxford? I believe Ole Miss is in Oxford. If yeah, it's Oxford because Starkville is Mississippi State. Okay. So, you know, this is a comment from Lane Kiffin. Everything has been extremely clear and transparent between myself and Pete Golding through constant communication, including a plan all the way through his historic championship run. Kiffin told ESPN on Friday morning, what an amazing night for all Ole Miss players, coaches, and fans. It also says that senior analyst, pass game specialist Dane Stevens and graduate assistant Sawyer Jordan, who helps with slot receivers, are also leaving for LSU. Who the hell is left? Who is left? This might look like a high school staff at this rate, the way it's looking. This is crazy. Absolutely nuts. Like if you go onto their website right now for Ole Miss and their coaching staff, they don't have any. You got Joe Judge. I don't know if he's going or not. He is the only offensive coach. Oh, and John Garrison. So you have your offensive line coach and you've got your quarterbacks coach. Now, Joe Judge is a former pro coach. So, I mean, I believe that's the Joe Judge that coached for the Giants. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's his son. I'm not sure. Let's see here. I mean, he was a professional coach. He was under Belichick and is this the son of the former coach in the NFL? Maybe it is. Okay, he was an offensive assistant and a quarterbacks coach in the NFL at New England. So look, man, you have this is the Joe Judge, the first head coaching gig for the New York Giants. Yes. Okay. God, he looks really young here. So yeah, you could hand it over to him, but again, you're talking about massive changes going into the biggest game of their careers. This is not an easy situation for these guys at Ole Miss. It just isn't. It's not. And so, let's see here. What else does it say? Yeah. So, and end of the day is this is major news for this game. This is major news for the preparation for Ole Miss. Like watching film, that's work, man. Preparing a game plan, that's work. Getting your team ready with that game plan, that's work. If you're not at practice because you're in Baton Rouge, well, how are you getting your team prepared? Pete Golding is a defensive mind. He's a defensive guy. Although his defense didn't look all that great, in my opinion, against Georgia, he is a defensive mind. That's his side of the ball. But there are also guys from the team right now that are disgusted every time Lane Kiffin even opens his damn mouth. Because it says here, Kiffin said the Ole Miss administration, of course, denied his request despite the team also asking him to allow me to keep coaching them so they could better maintain their high level of performance. Now, think about this. Let's say they had one. So Lane Kiffin would be coaching Ole Miss while trying to recruit for LSU in the transfer portal. Yeah, that probably wouldn't work out too well. Some Ole Miss players disputed Kiffin's statements on social media. They don't like they are disdained, but they don't like Lane Kiffin anymore. Senior defensive tackle Zach Xavier Harris said Kiffin was again trying to steal the spotlight from one of the greatest teams in Ole Miss history. Yeah, he's just trying to steal our shine, Harris said. That's all he's trying to do. That's all he's been trying to do is steal our shine. Harris said Kiffin's abrupt departure from Ole Miss in the middle of the CFP run was like a slap in the face, like a slap and the backhand. Harris said he was trying to be a troll. We're gonna troll him. We got something for him. They got to figure this out. And I'm a Hurricane fan, and we are Hurricane fans. But I'll tell you right now, this is not something that's easy to deal with, and it could have a major implication on this game and preparation. And this is what they were dealing with. I mean, did they just plan on losing? I guess did they plan on losing to Georgia? I would think not, but at the same time, if you're sitting here telling me you got the transfer portal window and these guys are supposed to coach, like what do you do? I mean, to me, you finish what you start, but at the same time, technically, this is not even their job anymore. They took jobs at LSU. So what do y'all think of this, Kings fans? What do you think of this, football fans in general? What do y'all think of the fact that Ole Miss might be going in there with a halfway offensive staff? I mean, it makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. Coaches matter in college football. I think we all know that coaches matter in college football. Game plan matters. Experience matters. And Ole Miss might very well be walking into the biggest game of their school's history, missing half of an offensive staff. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much to me. I appreciate y'all. And as always, this is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.